So we all know that cruising has been a very popular choice among many travelers for many years looking for a unique and memorable way to vacation. But beyond the beautiful scenery and amazing food and fascinating places a cruise passenger can explore, there are also some things that a cruise passenger most likely didn't know that they are allowed to bring home with them from their cruise on disembarkation day. So in today's video, I will be sharing with you all the top valuable items that you are allowed to take with you from your cruise vacation. But just before we begin, I am asking you kindly to become a supporter of the channel by clicking that subscribe button below, as my goals will be to continue bringing you the valuable tips, tricks and advice you will need for a successful vacation. So please don't hesitate to subscribe if you want to keep seeing new videos like this weekly. Alright, let's continue. Now for the first item is one that I tend to see a lot of times that cruise passengers will take home after their cruise has ended. And it is nothing spectacular, but I figure many of you who haven't been doing this should probably start considering in doing so as well. But the first item is cruise branded merchandise. You can get these items whether for free included in your cruise or items that comes directly from the onboard shops. Cruise lines often offer a wide range of branded merchandise such as hats, t-shirts, keychains, magnets and so on. These items, when you take them home, will allow you to proudly display your time and presence on board a cruise ship, and not only that, but can also serve as decoration pieces, conversation starters, or even gifts for family and close friends. You see, once you've been on a cruise, it should be a part of your planning process to return back home with some cruise branded items that can serve as a reminder of your trip, and even be things you can pass down for many years to come. Who knows? Maybe the branded items you get on your next cruise can develop into something of value in the future. So don't skip getting branded items from your next cruise vacation. Now, our next valuable item that I definitely think you should take home with you from your next cruise vacation is something that has been kept on the hush-hush for a very long time. And for many of you, I know you're probably already doing this, but I think this video can serve as a humble reminder that we've all been doing it anyways. So when it comes down to it, it shouldn't be anything that anyone should be shameful for. I do not have the exact metrics on how many people that does this for every cruise, but my estimation can lead me to believe it's probably at least 50% of cruise passengers who are doing it anyway. And the item I see often that many cruise passengers will take home with them is none other than the bedrobes and slippers. If I should tell you right now, a lot of passengers do not take these items home, and generally they do so for good measure, because if everyone does this, you can expect a lot of robes and slippers that will need to be replaced for every single cruise. And if the cruise lines are seeing that passengers are too frequently taking these items, then the only justifiable thing I will see next to cruise lines will be to adjust and raise the prices for future cruises so that they can cover the expenses of missing robes and slippers. But to all be fair, the prices are already kind of deep for the pockets, but because the prices can be so high, doesn't necessarily mean that everyone should keep taking home with them the stateroom robes and slippers. I know that one thing to look out for when it comes to taking robes and slippers from a cruise line is that not every cruise line will sit well with allowing their passengers to take these items. And for even cruise lines that passengers are sailing with on a budget, can see you finding yourself with some form of upcharge or even hidden fees at the end of your cruise. So is it possible to take home the robes and slippers? I would say yes, you can. I see it all the time being a crew member that has been working for cruise ships for many years. I don't think anyone will attempt to try and stop you, but not every cruise is able to accommodate for such activities to take place on board, especially if it's the cheaper budget cruises. The next item I will tell you about is one that has been kept secret for so long until now. I didn't want to say it or even to reveal this secret item that you can take home, but being my loyal audience, I wanted to share this one with you as I do with all my videos. But did you know the meals that you eat on board all come with printed menus, right? Now for these meals that you have on board, especially at dinner time, we'll have freshly printed menus every single night. I know for a fact that a lot of you passengers quite enjoy some meals more than you do with others depending on what you have. But here's the secret. Once you leave the dining room and your meal has ended, the menus you were given at your table are a lot of times immediately thrown away after. And you're probably thinking, why do we do this? I mean, there can be a lot of factors that can affect this situation, such as every meal served on a menu may not be the same for upcoming cruises, or you can even say for health and safety reasons, especially if we don't want multiple passengers to be touching or viewing the same menus over and over. At this point, you are probably saying to yourself, what does this have to do with valuable items you can take home from your cruise? And even if you're not thinking about that, well, I'm going to tell you anyways. But at the end of your meal or end of dinner service, you can request to have the meal menu for that night. And guess what? You wouldn't have to pay an extra dime for that, or even better, the menus will generally have the brand of the cruise you are sailing on printed directly onto the menus. So you see now what I was getting into? This is just another item that you will be able to take home from your cruise that will probably even be more valuable than the items you will even buy on your cruise. And it will be a great reminder from your cruise, a memorabilia that you can frame, or even if you just want to try and recreate some dishes on that menu when you get home. So if you've enjoyed that one, then make sure to give me a like, but we still have some more to cover in the rest of the video, so let's continue. Now, the next item that many cruise passengers aren't very well aware of that they are allowed to bring home with them at the end of their cruise, and is oftentimes something I wonder if it is done deliberately or it's just a simple misunderstanding. But yes, the wines and spirits that you pay for on your cruise, you are most definitely allowed to take with you on this embarkation day. I don't want to get you guys confused thinking that I'm talking about the drink packages here. What I'm actually talking about is the bottles you either purchase on board or included in your cruise depending on the type of cruise you are sailing with. Just to understand, a lot of all-inclusive cruises will have more options and in most cases better availability on the wines and spirits you can take home at the end of your cruise. But when I say I am not sure if this is done deliberately, I am most likely referring to the fact that the cabin stewards at the end of the cruise always seem to run into sealed bottles of wines and spirits that were left in the staterooms when a passenger disembarks the cruise. So I just want to make it clear that the bottles you've paid for or the ones that are included in your cruise, you are definitely allowed to bring it home with you. So don't in any way feel uncomfortable thinking that these bottles you have to consume them while you are on board. And if you haven't, then you must leave them on board. This is totally not the case and not something you should even be worried about. A lot of cruise lines will most of the time offer exclusive wines and spirits that are created in collaboration with many known vineyards and distilleries. Sometimes these bottles can also be limited editions or may not be available for future cruises, hence why they may be valuable items for you to take home at the end of your cruise, and can also be a great reminder of how your cruise went even after disembarkation day. The next item I want to mention is certainly in my opinion one of very high value that I believe you must take home with you when you leave your cruise. But a lot of guests do not see the value that I see in these type of items, and most of the time this is the best reminder of your cruise and one that will bring back a much needed memorable experience for you when you take your time to look back at it in the future. And this specific item can be a collection of multiples, but what I'm actually talking about is the onboard printables. And these can be anything such as the daily programs, heralds, the onboard newsletters, and even the stateroom brochures and all of that. All of these that I've mentioned falls under the printable category. And I feel like instead of these items being resorted down to trash for many cruise passengers, can instead be valuable items to bring home with you at the end of your cruise. I know most of the passengers throw these things away, but a lot of times, these printable items will be customized for you and your onboard experience by having your name and even the cruise brands and logo on it. These can be great decorations for your home, and guess what again? They can even be used as proof of your travels if you want to share your stories in the future. Look, it's not my say to tell you that you must or you have to take these items, but being a crew member, I can tell you I know best how much these memories can be for our passengers. And these things, even though they may seem small at the time, can really bring back joy and memories for a lot of you guys. So why not just take them? If you've enjoyed the information from this video, I'm not asking you to leave a like and comment below if there's anything else you would like to add to this list. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Also, watch my next video that you may see here on the screen. It's Onique, your cruise employee, and I'm out.